One of you reached out and said, I'm confused about free will. It feels like some things are fate. In other words, he was talking about the idea of trying to change his reality, trying to choose a different outcome, a different life, to be and experience something different. And he says, sometimes no matter how hard I try or how many times I choose, it doesn't seem like anything's changing. It feels like it's fate or destiny that I'm going to experience a certain outcome or a certain life. This is what he was getting at. He goes, I choose, but then the opposite happens. The harder I try, the worse it gets. Like I'm tempting fate. Then he mentions Neville Goddard's teachings, where Neville Goddard talks about the illusion of free will. That free will is only the freedom to choose, or the freedom of choice. What Neville Goddard is pointing at is that your life unfolds, that script or that life experience unfolds according to the assumptions and definitions and beliefs that you hold about yourself, others, and your reality. And so whatever you do or don't do, or whatever you experience or don't experience, is according to those assumptions, those beliefs and definitions. But you're always free to choose those, even when it feels like you're not. And then he brought up another point about others talking about manipulating free will, that's spiritual trespassing. That you know, if I create my own reality, then I'm influencing others. I'm manipulating their free will to conform to my reality. That's what he was pointing at. You hear people talk about that. Then he goes, and you said, I believe, he wasn't sure, in a few videos on our channel, that everyone has free will, or it wouldn't be free will. That's the definition of free will. It's free. It's God-given. That's the unconditional love of existence, that you're free to exist or to perceive yourself as existence or be aware or conscious of yourself as existence in any way that you choose. That's free. Each point of consciousness has that. Then he says, but then you say no one has free will in my reality. So on one hand, we're saying you all have free will, but in your reality, only you have free will. So what does that mean? I'm influencing others. This is his question. But remember, each point of consciousness creates their own reality. And so you create your version of the people, events, and circumstances according to what you assume and believe and define yourself and your reality to be. And those versions of those others align with your assumptions, your beliefs. They're still freely choosing. You're just creating or projecting or reflecting a version of them who freely chose that as their reality. It matches your will. Their will matches yours in that case. So you're never influencing or manipulating another's free will. There are infinite versions of people, events, and circumstances, you and your life experiences. So you're always choosing. That's what Neville Goddard was getting at. Free will is the freedom to choose. It's everything. It's not only the freedom to choose. That's everything. You as existence in every moment are choosing how to see yourself, how to experience yourself, from what perspective or viewpoint or vantage point are you going to experience yourself as existence itself, as that one source. So let's talk about this today. Really, when you get this, you get everything. This is going to be big. Literally, you manifest the life of your dreams, where the world, your world, literally revolves around you, revolves around your wishes and desires. Each and every one of you, I want to be clear here, has the God-given free will to be aware and conscious of yourself, I am, in whichever way you choose. That's the unconditional love of existence. It wouldn't be unconditional if it put conditions on how you can be aware of yourself. It wouldn't be free. What is that God-given existence? That's the great I am. That's the great isness, or that pure awareness, that source, that self-existing first cause. You are that. So you, as all it is, I am awareness, are free to perceive, hear this, your own existence through any lens or filter you choose. And that perception and awareness of yourself creates your reality and entire life experience. You create the versions of the other people, events, and circumstances that reflect that filter or lens through which you're seeing your reality. Others, as individualized, localized, personalized points of consciousness, create their own reality, and you create yours. But in your reality, you create your version of that infinite point of consciousness, that their will matches yours, because it's your reality. Free will is the freedom to choose. Choose what? To choose your experience of and as reality itself. Wow. Of and as existence itself. Always free. And again, no one and nothing can decide your reality, only you. You don't merely create and manifest your own reality. For sure you do that. But you are your own reality. In other words, there is no other reality. It's you as that consciousness, as that awareness. No one and nothing can create in your reality. It's your reality. No one and nothing has free will in your reality. In other words, you create your life story, who you are, and the people, events, and circumstances match that assumption, those definitions, those beliefs of who you are. It's always about you and your free will, not them and their free will. Do you see? There's infinite versions of them that are always freely picking, and every infinite version of others, they are freely picking their life experience. But in your reality, you're seeing the version of them with whom you interact that aligns with your beliefs and definitions and assumptions of who you are and what your reality is. Others have free will, but in your reality, their will matches yours. Wow. Your story, what we've referred to as the film role, using the teachings of Vadim Zeland in his book Tufti, and also his other book, Reality Transurfing. Your story, your film role, selects the script. In other words, the story of your life is that film role. Who you say you are, your assumptions, beliefs, and definitions of who you are. And then a script unfolds within those definitions or those assumptions that you and others follow. But hear this. That film role, your story, who you are in that script are new in every moment. They're never the same. There are infinite versions of them. Each version, each film role, each story, each version of you, each life, each script has its own fate and destiny. You don't change those. Those are all potential. You choose from the infinite eternity film roll archive, as we called it. The Akashic records. That awareness, the field or the Father, you're choosing. Freely, you're following that script. You're freely following that script. But it's changing in every moment, and so are others. You create the versions of the people, events, and circumstances that reflect the assumptions, beliefs, and definitions that you freely choose and you hold about yourself and your reality. You freely choose or are free to choose. Right? Sometimes you're choosing unintentionally what others believe, or what the world believes, but it's your world. So I want to show this today. And I've said this before. You are either consciously, freely, intentionally creating your reality, or someone else is. That is, what I mean by that, you are either consciously, freely, intentionally choosing what you assume, believe about yourself and your reality, or someone or something else is choosing for you, and you are accepting that as your truth, as your choice of who you are and what your reality is. Wow. Right? We call those subconscious programs or our past, or we look at a situation and the conditions of our life, and we just accept that as the truth. But you're the way, you're the truth, you're the light, your reality. What is that someone or something else that we're talking about? The people, events, and circumstances, your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, the appearances, the memories, the perceptions that we have. You're allowing those to tell your story of who you are in this moment. That's why I've often pointed to Matthew 16:15, and it also appears in other parts of Scripture, where Jesus is asking his disciples, who do people or men say that I, the Son of Man, am? You, the physically focused you, who are you? And his disciples answer, John the Baptist, Elijah, Jeremiah, one of the prophets. In other words, someone else or something else deciding who you are. And what does Jesus say? He pushes back on them. Remember, Jesus is your own I am awareness. But who do you say that I am? Not all these circumstances and events and the trauma of the past and past programs and patterns and thoughts and feelings and emotions and appearances and memories and perceptions, but who do you say that you are right now? That determines your entire life experience. And then Simon Peter answers, Christ, the Son of the living God. In other words, you are the source. You get to determine this in every moment. You're always free to choose your experience of reality as reality. There you are, infinite versions of you and others in reality and experiences. Infinite versions of you and your reality exist in potential. That potential of the quantum field, or the universe, or the Akashic records, or the consciousness or awareness. Infinite versions of you exist in potential in the Eternity Film Roll Archive. Think of these as film rolls or life stories. The quantum field, the universal mind, the Father, the Akashic records, whatever you want to call it. That film roll, remember, equals your life story as existence, as I am. But within each of those film rolls is a script, your life story, that film roll unfolding in a physical experience, in a physical linear experience in space and time. So the script is simply the story unfolding in a linear physical experience. But it's all here where you decide it. The illuminated frame here and now, what you're assuming and believing and defining yourself to be here and now. That frame chooses the film roll. That's your story of your life. And that's different in every moment. It's never the same. You're a new version of you and a new version of reality in every moment. Completely and absolutely different than the moment before. Any change is a complete change. You're never the same. That illuminated here and now frame, what you freely believe and assume to be true of you and your reality. What has never been and never will be and only exists in the here and now. Who am I? That's what that was talking about in Matthew 16:15. Who am I here and now? Because that creates who you were, the past right now, your present right now, and your future right now. It creates the entire script. But remember, the frame, the script, the film roll, the story is different in every moment. You're never the same version of you. But we look at it like this. This is why it feels so hard to change. We look at it that the past is fixed and unchangeable. The present is just this solid, hard to move reality. And that we're fated or destined for some future that we can't seem to get to. That's the illusion of free will. Every script comes with its own actions, its own experiences, and people, events, and circumstances, but there are infinite ones. You're never stuck in any script. There's infinite fates, there's infinite destinies. The script is written means yes, but there are infinite scripts, new in every moment. The scripture story unfolding in a linear experience. It's never the same. I know you're going to go, but this has always been my past. I have all these pictures, I have all these people telling me this, but that's created in every moment. That's the illusion. The present's created now, the past is created now, and your future's all created now. Wow. Nothing's fixed, nothing's final. Your reality. The film roll chosen. In other words, your story. Based on your illuminated frame of what you define to be true of yourself and your reality. The script unfolding as a physical linear experience in time and space, all of that is completely and totally new in every moment. Hear it again. You, your reality, the film role chosen, your story, the script unfolding as a physical linear experience in time and space is completely and totally new in every moment. Each life story, each version of you, infinite in number, with its own unique script or fate or destiny, and version of people, events, and circumstances, but you're never ever seeing the same person, the same event, the same circumstance. There are no such thing. It's all new in this moment. You're new in this moment. And Neville Goddard said it, free will is only freedom of choice. Well, that's powerful, but freedom of choice is everything. That's reality. You're not manipulating anyone's free will. You're not influencing anyone's free will. You're not spiritual trespassing. You're creating your reality. And within your choice of who you are and what you define yourself to be, you reflect the different versions of the people, events, and circumstances. There are infinite versions that match your assumptions, your definitions, your beliefs of who you are and what your reality is. That's what Neville Goddard meant by everybody is you pushed out. You are you and others are others. But the versions of those others that you see are depending on your choice of what you assume and believe about yourself here and now. You control that illuminated frame, choosing what to believe and assume about yourself, others, and your reality here and now, your life story, your film role. Who am I? So free will is only freedom of choice. And when you believe that you can manipulate free will, or it's spiritual trespassing, or you're influencing others, well, that's just ignorance of the law of I am. That's just the ignorance of the law of reality, that there are infinite versions of people, events, and circumstances. You're never influencing any one. The script is written, but there are infinite scripts, infinite versions of the people, events, and circumstances of your life and you. Do you know the magnitude of what we're talking about here? This changes everything. No one and nothing, nothing and no one can decide your reality. Literally, actually, only you. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Tom Kearin channel and studios at Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thanks for joining us. We just released a video on the Be Something Wonderful channel. Check that out. And we're going to have another live event at the end of this month of July. Stay tuned for that. More content coming with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude. This is Tom Kearin here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful on the Tom Kearin channel. Until next time, we'll see you soon.